Hello, welcome or welcome back to the YarnNYarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet and weaving, all of the fibre related things. Today's video is day 11 of my 12 Castons adventures for 2025. If you're new to the channel, you're most welcome. If this is the first video that you're clicking on, the 12 Castons is a make along that I host every year whereby I cast on 12 new projects between Christmas Eve and the end of January, and then I spend the rest of the year trying to finish as many as I can. For the last several years, the wonderful folks who watch the channel, who have grown up into the amazing YarnNYarns community, have been joining in with me. Now, you don't have to cast on 12 because I know that would be overwhelming for some folks, but you can just cast on one or any number in between. Time this video goes up, it will probably be the beginning of February sometime, so if you are new then you'll have just missed out on being able to join our make along for this year, but it's never too early to start planning for next year. In today's video I'll be casting on a colourwork vest. Now this project almost made it to be my cast on number 12 last year, but I wasn't quite able to squeeze it in because at the time I didn't think I could make yarn in my stash work for the project, and I thought I'd spend some time planning between last year's cast-ons and this year's cast-ons to try and, you know, make a purchase or do what I needed to do to make it work. However, I have managed to sort of make it work with stash yarn, although I am going to be making a cheeky purchase for this one. I think this is the only one of my 12 cast-ons this year where I'm going to be purchasing a little bit of yarn to make it work. Anyway, the project that I'm going to be working on or casting on is the Deep Field top, which is a pattern by Marina Skewer, and this is the pattern as shown on the design page. So as you might be able to see, there's a background colour, and the thing that held me up from casting this on last year is that Marina uses 3 contrast colours in her version of the yarn, and I couldn't quite make it work, or I couldn't quite see a way to make it work using my stash yarn. However, I've decided to adapt a little bit, and I'm actually only going to be using 2 colours for my deep field, background colour and the contrast for those star motifs. A couple of weeks ago I did do a little bit of swatching, and this is what I came up with in my swatch. My background yarn is from the wonderful YarnNYarns, a Welsh produced yarn, and I am reclaiming this from a failed cast on from a couple of years ago. I was going to cast on, or I did cast on, the Mid Coast sweater. It just didn't work for me. This lovely sort of deep grey, almost black colour was one of the contrast colours that I was using in that pattern. The orange is actually one of Marina Skewer's yarns. A couple of years ago now I purchased a limited edition colourway from Marina, and this one is called Birthday, and it was on her Sunny base, Mendip Sunny base, and I have 200 grams of this lovely variegated orange colour. I've got enough of this, hopefully, to use this as the contrast, so that's my plan. Now, I think there's enough variegation in this yarn to make it interesting. So although I'm not going to be using the sort of 3 colour contrast, I won't get that sort of lovely stripe effect. I think I'm going to enjoy this vest, and I'm going to really enjoy using these beautiful yarns together, so it's a win-win. My one slight stumbling block is because I've had this Cartrev yarn for a couple of years. I did message the wonderful Zoe, who is one half of Cartrev, to see if she had one more skein of this colour in the same dye lot as I've got, and unfortunately she didn't have that. So I don't want to take too much of a chance that I'll get one skein. I need 2 skeins altogether, but I don't want to take a chance that I'll get a skein from a different dye lot and it be wildly different. So I'm going to be buying 2 new skeins of that colourway, which I think is called Glow, G-L-O. And I'm going to be seeing Zoe in a couple of weeks, so I'll pick that yarn up from her. However, I want to get this project cast on today, so I'm going to cast on with the skein that I do have, with the feeling that I'm probably not going to get much further than the rib band. So this is a bottom-up vest. And I've got a cast on just over 400 stitches, I think, for the size that I'm making. And it's 1x1 rib. So that's going to take me a long time. So I figured that I could use the skein that I have to cast on my rib band, and then I'll get the other 2 skeins from Zoe in a couple of weeks, and I'll use those for the actual main part of the sweater. And if my band is slightly different to the sort of main background, it won't matter, and I can use the skein that I have also to do the ribbing around the neck and the 2 sleeve ribs as well. I'm not sure how exciting this video will be, because I'm probably going to end up with a dark grey rib band to show you at the end of the video. If I do get past the rib, I might be a little cheeky and do the first couple of rows of colour work, just because I won't be able to resist. But as I say, I'm going to have a huge number of stitches on the needles. It's 4-ply yarn, so it's going to take a long time to work each round. So even if I do manage to sneak into the colour work section, I'm not going to make that much progress on it today. Before I get to the knitting, I have to say a huge thank you to Louise, who kindly gifted me this pattern last year, not long after the pattern was released. As for the rest of my day, I have already been out for a lovely walk at sunrise this morning, so I'm going to share some footage of that with you. Other than that, I think it's going to be just a cosy weekend day at home. I've got a bit of housework and normal weekend stuff to do. But I should have a reasonable-ish amount of knitting time. Although, as I say, I don't necessarily want to get too far on this project today, because I need to wait until I get my yarn. I probably could have popped up to Zoe's at some point this week and picked it up. But today is the first day for 2 weeks that I've felt free of germs. So I didn't want to visit Zoe and hassle her for a yarn while I was feeling sick. So we're working with what we have. I've run out of large project bags. So I'm going to be using this amazing tote bag for keeping my project in, that was sent to me by Helen from all the way over from Tasmania. It's got these beautiful flora, native Tasmanian flora on. So this is going to be my project bag for this project. Okay, time to stop waffling and get casting on. The first thing I need to do is go and find the rest of my skein of Cartrev yarn, because I found a little nugget of it and I used pretty much all of it in my swatch. I love how this swatch is looking. Love this. I think it's going to be fabulous when this is done. But a lot of knitting ahead. Right, stop waffling, Ange. Find your yarn, get casting on. I really don't think you can beat a winter sunrise. There's something really vibrant and special about the colours at this time of the year when we get them. There's been so many grey days here. It was just so nice to see the sunshine. The sunshine lasted as well through the day, which was nice. I found myself a little spot in the sun and got casting on with my deep field vest. I often get asked about my cast on. I just use a thumb cast on, which is what I was shown by my gran when she taught me to knit, and it's a variation of a long-tailed cast on, and it tends to be my default unless another specific cast on is called for in a pattern. These rows, small needles, 1x1 rib. It's a lot of work to get not very far, but thankfully I had some very good company, and I was catching up with first the Grumpy Sheep Happy Llama podcast and then the Stash Down Diaries as I worked away on my rib. As always, it is time for me to share some of the fabulous cast-ons that have been happening as part of our make along, as started by our wonderful community. Of course, the cast on period of the make along has now come to an end, but I'm still quite far behind catching up on the comments under the last few videos. I've obviously got one more video left after this, and then I plan to do a wrap up, so hopefully I can get caught up to capture everyone's cast ons in the next videos. Angela from Attic Spin Dye has started a love note and a dream catcher shawl. Reknits for Me has made all 12 of their cast ons from stash yarn, which is just fantastic. Petra has started a dustland for her husband and has started and finished 2 hats. Rachel has cast on all 12 projects and has finished off with a toaster tee, a washcloth and a scrappy hot water bottle cover. Kathy has started a sweater from Deep Stash. Sew and Pray has started a muscle bra, a dishcloth and a hat for a newborn. Belinda has also finished all 12 of their cast-ons, and the last few were some thrummed mittens, a gnome, some marled mittens and a scrawl bucket. Deborah has started 11 projects, 3 cardigans, a jumper, a shawl, a toddler cardigan, a toddler jacket, a hat and mitts set, the barbel hat, cowl and gloves, which I think is counting as one project, and some socks. Shah has started a take wing hat. Ellen said she's not officially joining the cast-ons this year, but has been knitting 16 hats which are for her son's birthday. He's going on a ski trip with his friends, so she's been knitting hats for the skiing party. Andra has started a mere, which is a mystery beret, and has also finished that project. A Cloud Peak cardigan, a Sweet Shop cushion cover, Stella quilt blanket, Under the Ivy cowl, Jill socks, Vuono hat, a Soul Sister scarf and a Same But Different cowl. Trixie has started their first ever pair of socks, which is amazing. I hope you're having fun with those. Mary has started some Arn and Carlos the Christmas baubles. Julianne has started the Hosen Mats baby pants. Nancy has started a Curty sweater. And finally for this video, Naturally Inspired has started a Ranunculus, a Hinterland, a Wilfrida, a Love Note, a Cascata, a Fair Egg vest, and the Hajata mitts, H-J-A-R-T-A. I'm sure I've pronounced that incorrectly. And they've also carded some fibre into a bat, which they then spun up and is now being knit into a Simple Things scarf. As for what I managed to get done on the first day, as suspected, I've got a bunch of ribbing to share with you. So maybe not the most exciting of starts, but this represents quite a lot of knitting time. I think I mentioned there's 400 something stitches on the needles. 1x1 rib, which I find quite slow. It's not always my favourite, but will definitely be worth it in the end. I can't remember off the top of my head because it's been a couple of weeks now since I actually did the cast on. I've either got 1 or 2 rows of ribbing left, or I've finished the ribbing. I think it's quite a short rib band around the bottom of the vest, so hopefully that means next time I get to pick this up, even if I've got 1 or 2 rounds of ribbing left, I should be starting on the colour work fairly quickly. So yeah, I'm really thrilled to have that project on the needles, and want to say a big thank you once again to Louise, who kindly gifted me the pattern. I'm going to tuck my new skeins of Cartrev safely away into the project bag for this project so they don't go astray, so I know where they are. So there'll be no excuses. Next time I pick that up, I'll be all ready to go. We have reached the end of video number 11, just 1 more left to go now. So thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know in the comments below what you have been working on recently, what projects are really capturing your attention, what things you are finding crafting joy in. I will be back with cast on number 12 will be the next video, so I hope you will join me for that one. But until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some other things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.